welcome back to IELTS Face-Off. I'm so happy to see you again. And this episode today, we're going to be talking about multitasking. Now, multitasking, I'll show you what it looks like with our crew. Hi, Ben. How's it going? See, she's multitasking, doing her crunches while reading a book and being productive. Let's see who else is a multitasker. This one is. Hey, Na. Na is working and exercising. I love how everybody is so fit these days, trying to kind of move, you know. I wonder who else is multitasking. Look at her. She's going away with her drawing and dancing. Now, this is an important thing, guys. Not all multitasking is doing multiple actions at once. A lot of the times, multitasking in life is about managing, our daily schedules, doing a lot of things, achieving our dreams. And I know the perfect person who has a lot of things on her plate, but yet she's been able to do it extremely well. You already know her, but you'll get to meet her right now. Come, follow me. You'll get to see her.
In this very first episode of the show, let's follow Phoebe and the chance to face off such a multitasking celebrity, Han. She's a charming and sexy supermodel, a singer, a TV host. Look at her list of awards with some remarkables. Not yet. She's also a goodwill ambassador of Vietsub. It's her and only her, Miss Multitasking Han. Follow Khánh Vi and her journey crossing Vietnam to meet students studying IELTS from everywhere. And of course, you can't miss the set of useful tips by Oliver Holmes from British Council. Very first episode of IELTS Face-Off is ready right now.
Who a better person to talk about multitasking than the fabulous Miss Han?
Thank you.
Welcome.
I try.
Yeah. So, of course, everything starts out probably when you were younger, when you were a student. You applied to over 200 schools looking for a scholarship. That is a crazy number. Tell us more a little bit about that.
Actually, I was dating a boy and he went to study in the UK. So we spent like a year apart writing letters to each other. So I was very determined to go to the UK at this point, to be closer to my high school romance. So I wrote to over 200 schools and attend a few examinations, and finally I was able to get really like one big scholarship to go to boarding school and study A-levels there, and it goes from there.
Yep. And at Reading University later on,
Yes.
you did business. With specialization in marketing, and yet you went to become a model.
Yeah.
How did this work?
Well, first of all, it's the height. So when people saw me, people kept saying, you should be a model, you should be a model, you look like a model. My mom kept saying to me, why don't you go out and be a model? And I said, but how mom, how could I be a model? I'm just like a girl from Vietnam. I came to the UK, it's this huge country. But finally the opportunity came to me when I attended a pageant called the Face of Asia. Mm-hmm. And for some reason, I don't know why, I won that competition. Yeah. And part of the prize that they gave out was that I would be able to sign with a model agency. So it started from there. I knew nothing about modeling then, and I just had my eyes like opened and my ears open, just learn everything, observe everything, and that's where it all started.
There's one thing that we hear a lot in the show is that students tell us that there's a difference between what you're good at and what you love to do.
Yes.
And some people complain that, I love this, but I'm not really good at it. What advice do you have?
You can pretty much be good at something you are interested in or you love, because you will learn, you will practice, and you will continue to practice until you're good, if you truly love it. I don't love modeling, but once I decided to be a model, I wanted to be good at it. So I learned it. I learned the lights, I learned the angles, I learned skills to be a good model. With that job, and I experienced the difficulties, the fun of it, I started to like it more and more and more, and now I can say, I love walking on the runway. So I don't think that you need to distinguish what you are good at and what you love. Let's love what you do well and do it well. Or if you love something, let's make sure that you would do it well. Right. Lots of young people and lots of students would say, my parents want me to do something and something that makes sense. I earn a lot of money, but it's something I love doing. I think if you love it so much, you can do both. You can still try this out and see what you love the most. And then if it becomes better, it makes sense more, stop doing this, do this. But absolutely don't do what you hate, I think, because there's a waste of time. Like if I wake up and I go to a job and I have this dreadful feeling like, oh my God, I have to do it. Yeah. Like you feel it in your gut. Yeah. Don't do it because you have better options.
Absolutely. So as a multitasker, as a person who does many, many things, you know, you're a writer, you're an MC, you are a singer. How do you structure your time?
In my job, I'm able to be in control of my time. So I can decide to do something or not to do something. It depends on my priority. Being with my husband and my family would always be on the top priority. For example, like this summer, my husband is a primary school teacher. So he always have like this 2 months off for summer vacation, and I don't usually have 2 months off ever. But I said, and me and him, we will go to a trip for 2.5 weeks because life is too short and we're young and we are, newly married. So let's leave everything behind and don't worry about the job being missed. With work, it's interesting work. It's work with money and work that is less interesting. So all of those come with priority. When you can set out your priorities in life, then you know what you can decide to do, right?
For the students that are watching this show, what final advice do you have for them?
In terms of language, I think there's nothing wrong with acknowledging that you're not perfect. I studied in the UK and lived in the UK for almost 10 years, but I'm not perfect. I make a lot of mistakes. I was more excited than about delivering what I have to say than to make like correct grammar. Yeah. So as students, if you go to an exam, you have to care more about these things because you have to get great marks. But apart from that serious side about communication, just be yourself. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you speak perfect English. People will love you if you are yourself. So let's be more confident. Let's speak out. Let's express yourself and share your gifts to the world. Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming on. And of course, guys, this is not yet finished because we're going on to the next section. So stay tuned. Well, fall is coming, and of course when fall comes, we all remember the summer. What a better way to have our supermodel Hang right here teach me and you guys a couple of tips of how to keep that summer feeling within ourselves. So how do we best take a picture for Facebook?
Well, I think that there's many ways to take a good picture. For the autumn, I think that let's bring in the movement. So whether it's movement with the walk or movement with the hair, it's all quite fresh, right? And if you just walk like this, it's difficult to get the hands in to coordinate with the hair and the face. So I would say just maybe do 1 or 2 steps. Look, you have your head here, over here, and your step. You step here, you swing your head. Ready to try that?
Okay.
1, 2, 3. Perfect. See?
Thank you.
That's it. You got the pose. Okay, so another pose is, this is the summer. What you have to do is to have one leg just a little bit up. So what we want is the leg to face in to make it look long and straight. Yeah. You want it to be leaning against, and your hips will be swinging a little bit on the right. So this is the summer, and you can change your face here or here.
Nice. Okay, let me do this. One leg is in, right?
A half step up. Okay. Yes, and switch
it up.
Your knee a bit in.
A little bit.
Close your leg.
Okay, there we go.
That's it. Tummy in as always. Yeah, proud and beautiful. Chest up and smile.
There we go.
That's it. You got it. Beautiful.
Thank you.
All right. What else you want to learn?
Okay. So what about student in uniform? How do we pose as a student in uniform?
So I think student in uniform is fresh. I think, right? Let's do the "we are free," right?
Okay. Yes.
So do you want to jump up or you want to?
Let's jump.
Let's jump.
Let's
okay.
jump.
With the heels, you can jump.
Yeah. Let's jump.
Okay. Let's do "we are free." Free from school. Okay?
All right. Let's do it.
1, 2, 3. is a fun picture, yes. Make sure you're free, not your face here. Do it right here so people can get your face, right? Or to the camera, never shy away with the camera. So it's either like, we are free, like your body, your thing is always like with the camera, to the camera. If the camera is not here and is here, then make sure you know where the camera angle is. Like, yes, whatever angle it is, you're ready to be fabulous.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I think, a lot of the kids will have a chance to practice at home all of these poses. It's been so fun to have you on the show today. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It's a lot of fun. Thank you for having me.
And guys, I hope that you've managed to learn a couple of life skills, as well as multitasking skills, as well as photo taking skills. So after the show today, make sure to log on to your own Facebook, take a selfie, and be fabulous. All right, we'll see you again in the next section.
Next on IELTS Face-Off, we will get back to the main studio with Phoebe and Face-Off Oliver Holmes, IELTS experts from British Council, and Henry with her journey of IELTS on the go will set the very first destination in Ho Chi Minh City and meeting a cool group of youngsters in the city. Exciting enough? Face off the next part of the show right now.
Welcome back to IELTS Face-Off, and you're right here in the studio with us, and we're going to be talking to our IELTS expert. So Oliver, thank you for being here.
Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, so to start off, before we talk, a lot about the tips and all the IELTS information and facts, I would really want to hear from you. How do you feel multitasking is for yourself? Like, do you agree with it? Are you a multitasker? Do you like to multitask?
Actually, I love multitasking. I take huge pleasure in it. There are things like, reading a newspaper, making music, watching a film all at the same time, maybe reading 3 different books at once. I'm really into multitasking.
Absolutely. That's great. I'd love to chat to you a little bit more about multitask later, but I think right now some of our students are really waiting for us because they really want to kind of, showcase what they have to the whole world. So shall we go to Ho Chi Minh City?
Let's do it.
And sit with Khánh Vi on a lake.
Sounds lovely.
That has the name of an animal. Mm-hmm. It's called the Turtle Lake. All right, so guys, let's go to the Turtle Lake and see what Khánh Vi and our 3 students have to offer today. Take it away, Khánh Vi, IELTS On the Go.
Face-Off studio. I'm Khánh Vi and currently in Turtle Lake, which we call Ho Con Sua. And it's such a beautiful morning for me to meet up with beautiful girls. Hi!
Nice to meet you.
It's nice to meet you too. And our lovely audiences would love to hear more about you.
Hello, my name is Lê Vân Thi and I'm a third year student at Phần University.
My name is Ngọc Linh. I am a third year student of University of Economy.
My name is Chương Vi. I learn physics in Ho Chi Minh City, University of Pedagogy.
What I'm curious now is that what do you guys learn English and how English can help you guys in what you guys are learning and what will you do in the future?
I'm very interested in English culture, and learning English is a journey to discover the culture. So I'm very excited to this journey.
In the process of globalization these days, so second language is very important. And especially I'm going to be a doctor in the future. So English is even more important. So for me to get a higher level in my job and to communicate with international friends.
Yes, how could you guys spend time learning English? Well, you guys must be really busy with studying at school.
I joined a lot of English clubs, and moreover, I'm a teaching assistant at Apple Center, so I can have a lot of opportunities to work with English teacher.
Yeah, it's really cool. And what about chị Linh and chị Bi?
My major is marketing, so I have many subjects that I have to learn in English. And I think that English is not a subject, so I learn English every time I fly.
And our future teacher?
I learn English through watching film or listening to music. When you want to get higher in physics, you must learn English very well.
I'm really impressed at our talk because it's really rare for me to meet someone who thinks English as a passion, not a subject. So I believe that you guys can do really, really well in the future with your English. And English might be something, maybe a key to many success in the future as well for you guys. And guys, I'm bringing you a really huge surprise. One of you here will be chosen to have a real-time speaking test in IELTS Face-Off, and you will have a chance to receive evaluation from IELTS expert from British Council.
Can't wait.
Yes. So you guys will have some time to discuss about this and choose 1 out of 3. I'm closing my eyes and I'm hearing the name. Will be called.
I'm going to be the one to take an IELTS test.
Wow, that's impressive. Chị Thi, are you ready to take an IELTS test with IELTS Face-Off?
Yeah, I'm totally ready.
All right, and of course you're going to help us facilitate that speaking test.
Absolutely.
Are you ready for Face-Off?
Yeah, let's go.
Yes, voice of this week will be Vân Thi from Ho Chi Minh City. Let's check out her performance and be curious about the topic. And get ready for our set of tips on how to memorize vocabulary in writing. Stay right there. Next part comes to you right now.
Hello, Banti. My name's Oliver Holmes. Can you tell me your full name, please?
My name is Vân Thi.
Now, in this first part, I'd like to ask you some questions about transport. How did you get here today?
I came here by motorbike, and that is also my daily transport.
What's your favorite mode of transport?
To be honest, among all the contemporary means of transport, I would have to say motorbike is still my favorite one. This may be due to the fact that it offers much greater flexibility in the way I work and travel. For example, where I could discover every corner in Saigon on a motorbike, and if I go traveling, I could easily get to know the local people and understand their cultural behaviors.
Okay, I'd like to give you a topic and I want you to talk about it for 1 to 2 minutes. Before you talk, you can make some notes if you wish. I'd like you to describe a time when you were very busy.
Well, throughout my college years as a medical student, I was assigned a variety of tasks which have given me a lot of challenges to accomplish. However, I'm going to describe about the time when I was extremely busy, when I had only 2 weeks to finish all my work. After dropping English class for a while, I decided to apply for a position as teaching assistant at Apollo Center. And then luckily I got accepted, and I felt extremely overjoyed, even though my 5 important tests in my medical school was just around the corner. And then I saw an article that was looking for the voice of the week on my favorite channels, which is Time IELTS. So, and without thinking, I immediately joined the casting round. After writing down all my to-do list, I felt really confused because I didn't know what to do or what to start first. I felt kind of tired because I think I couldn't manage all the entire activities. But then I encouraged myself that I could do it if I really put effort on it. So I made a video, and then I realized that I had a lousy mind about movie making programs. So it took me for a while to find a suitable app. And surprisingly, I submitted my video in just 1 day. And besides being teaching assistant at Apollo Center, it's my first job ever. So I have to try as well as possible. And even though I had to stay up late every single day for my test at school, I felt pleased that I finally passed. And then what kept me working all the time was my passion for English, because I love English. So
now, we've been talking about a time when you were very busy, and I'd like to ask you 1 or 2 more general questions related to this. Let's consider, first of all, multitasking. Do you think that multitasking can make people more productive?
To be honest, I do not deem multitasking is a good thing under all circumstances. Well, on the one hand, multitasking can keep our mind, keep our brain stimulated, and even uncover our latent talents. But on the other hand, multitasking can only cause more errors due to the insufficient attention.
Thank you very much. That's the end of this IELTS Face-Off test.
Thank you.
Welcome back, Dr. Thi. How was your test?
I think I did kind of well, but
But what?
when I get nervous, I talk very fast. And I think I talk like super fast when I did the IELTS speaking test.
Yes. And now let's hear some evaluation from IELTS expert.
So what do you think of Vân Thi's performance?
Great. I think she's got a high level of fluency already. She's using a great variety of discourse markers when she's speaking, and also longer phrases like "this may be due to the fact that" and "throughout my college years." So she moves through the speech really, really well. In terms of her lexical resource, I think she's got a good range of vocabulary, but there were some moments where her vocabulary was a little bit shakier. For example, she said, if I put effort on it, instead of if I put effort into it, which is a very common mistake. In terms of her grammar, she uses, again, a wide variety of sentence structures, lots of relative clauses, conditionals, and so on. With just a few mistakes. In terms of the pronunciation, sometimes it was absolutely excellent, just like a native English speaker, but sometimes there were moments when she stumbled over the words, or the words sort of mixed into each other. For example, she said something like circumstances and multitasking. So it sort of reduced the ability for me to understand. Absolutely. But overall, I think she's a really strong speaker already.
Give me a hug. Yay, congratulations, I'm so proud of you. Are you guys proud of this cute friend? Yeah. Yes, definitely. And guys, that's it for our talk today. I got a chance to meet up with 3 different girls who are all beautiful and they study in different majors, but they have one thing in common, that is they share the passion for English. And I'm so proud of that. I'm really impressed at that. And yes, I think what holds the most important thing here is that don't be afraid, just be confident, face out the challenges, face out the difficulties and obstacles, and most importantly, be the miracle. And now back to the stage.
I love that we're talking about a little bit about words because it's going to link up to our next section. And for the tips that you're still familiar with, the tips section, this time we're going to be talking a little bit about how do we memorize vocabulary. So guys, the next section is the tips, and tips section, where you will have a couple of guidelines as to how you can really memorize vocabulary. So have a look.
Good vocabulary is the key to success in IELTS writing. The good news is that good vocabulary is not at all a burden. In short, good vocabulary are diamonds, other vocabulary are stones. But how to recognize diamonds? Diamonds appear when you read. Diamonds appear when you understand. Diamonds are close to your heart and common to daily life situations.
Okay, so when it comes to memorizing vocabulary and really utilizing the best vocabulary, what tips do you have?
Okay, well, I think you've already said the key word, actually utilising the vocabulary. Some psychological studies have said that we need to repeat a word or use a word about 5 to 6 or even 7 times before we remember a word. I personally recommend that people build up vocabulary sets related to lots of different topics, and they produce them on a mind map. And then they continually just keep on writing them, copying them down and testing themselves and doing that repeatedly. And repetition is the key.
Any good vocabulary to share when it comes to multitasking or stress or productivity?
I guess a few of them might be to do with the stress that's involved with multitasking. Nowadays, a lot of people have very stressful lives where they're expected to do 20 things at once. So we talk about people juggling their responsibilities and that's quite a nice idiomatic expression, to juggle responsibilities. Also, we could say, you know, sometimes when I'm pulling my hair out with stress, I wish I had organised the day better. And now, can I think of any more? My mind's gone blank.
I think students don't express that enough. Sometimes when they can't come up with a certain idea.
During the exam, better students will be the ones who admit that they don't know what a word means. They ask for a definition, and if they've run out of ideas, they don't just stop speaking, but they use an idiom like, I think I've run out of steam a bit there, or I've lost my train of thought. I can't think of anything more off the top of my head.
Absolutely. Just to summarize our talk today, do you see any issues or any major problems that Vietnamese students normally face when it comes to vocabulary usage?
I think that perhaps one mistake people make is not putting enough effort into picking up new collocations. You can't stop learning at any point. And the most successful students that I've had are the ones who really put their heart and soul into finding out new vocabulary. And they build up incredible lists of idioms and collocations that I perhaps wouldn't have thought of myself. So it's the students who are driven and motivated to and have a passion for the subject who will get the best marks.
All right, thanks a lot for your tips today. You know, I definitely think that students will benefit a lot from all of your advice. All right, guys, remember we always have platforms for you to communicate with us. All of the tips that we talked about are available on all of our online platforms. So you can connect with us via Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and a lot of other online mediums, and make sure every week we have a scholarship to give out to the lucky one. So make sure you follow us on Facebook to see what the guidelines are as to how you can get those scholarships. And always study hard. Hey, that's the end of this episode. I hope that you enjoyed everything that's been said. And of course, all of our shows are designed so that you can have an experience and you can relate to people and you can really know what Vietnamese people are doing all around the country to get even better at the IELTS and to get even better at English. And we hope to give you that skill so that you can be confident and comfortable and always hardworking. And that's not the end, of course. Always tune in with us every week so that you can definitely check out new vocabulary and always talk to us online as well. All right, ciao, ciao. I'll see you again next week. Okay. Oh, the scripts people. Hey guys, you know, you think television is so shiny and it's always so beautiful, but it's a lot of hard work behind it. And everybody literally in the crew has to do a lot of things, and everybody in television multitasks. So from the script writers, you know, to the assistant producers, to people in social media, you know, this is what we sometimes have to do in television. And this is just a glimpse for you to see what multitasking in real world is really like. So I wish you all the best for your own multitasking endeavors. See you next time.